Fort Richardson's 4th Brigade Combat Team Airborne spent 15 months in Iraq. Now back in Alaska, the unit's small public affairs is going through the video and thousands of pictures detailing the history of Alaska soldiers at war. Here now is their story from a soldier's point of view.
It was right around here where we started getting shot at again.
Iraq, sometime last year. Alaska troops are trying to tow a wrecked truck and they quickly find themselves in a firefight.
See that flash of light with tracers coming towards us.
Sergeant Ernest Henry is a public information officer with Fort Richardson 4th Brigade Combat Team Airborne, 25th Infantry Division.
This is how it is. This is how things really work.
He and others tasked with telling the story of the Alaska Brigade while its 2,500 troops patrol the streets of Iraq.
The camera guy films, the camera guy edits.
His preferred weapon? A Sony video camera.
If the situation comes to me having to use my that spot anyway, so in most cases I would just continue filming and let the guys who get paid to do that do all the shooting.
Sergeant Henry doesn't just focus on the fog of war, he wades through it, side by side with troops on the ground, like on this day near the tiny Iraqi town of Jerfa.
It was really weird that day because there was nobody out on the streets, which is usually a bad sign.
The area had been a hot spot of trouble for the Alaska troops.
I'd say 2-3 weeks ago, we got hit. Within 300 meters, we got hit with 3 IEDs.
And today, turns out, is no different. The quiet soon shattered. Someone has been waiting on the deserted street for our troops.
Hey, R3 said that he saw a black van take off the second that explosion went off.
Back in Alaska, Henry watches as he becomes part of his own story.
I was the second closest to the blast, and if it was aimed in the right direction, then we wouldn't be sitting here talking. Every time I see it, I think back on that.
You want to get
Night patrols or in helicopters. Henry and his still photographer counterpart, Sergeant Marcus Butler, are writing the history of the modern-day Alaska soldier.
We have to tell the story. It's going to tell the Army story, but so we have to let everybody know what's really going on and what the soldiers are doing over there.
But it is a mission that can change quickly.
Policemen, politician, paratroopers. Yeah, do it all out there.
TNT.
From working with local people to find weapons caches and insurgents to eliminating explosives left on the road. Our troops found Iraq to be a sometimes frustrating place.
The people that are smiling at you during the day, the ones shooting at you at night.
That's a sniper.
But despite everything, Alaska troops say Iraq is a place worth fighting for.
When we came there, being a hostile area, to when we left, it was a much better place.
Army officials say they will continue to send soldier journalists outside the wire.
You just got to try to make sense out of it.
To help focus the fog of war and capture the story of what could be our next greatest generation.
Now, the 425, as it's known locally, is one of the first Army units to send soldiers outside the wire with cameras in addition to their rifles. The troops say it's the best way, they claim the only way, to show people here what life is like for the troops as they fight thousands of miles away.
And Sean, when is the brigade supposed to go back to Iraq?
Well, Maria and Jason, Army officials say that they will be redeployed to a combat zone sometime early 2009. Now, just this weekend, Army officials said that that is most likely to be Afghanistan, actually. And as for Sergeant Henry, the photojournalist we profiled in our story, Maria and Jason, he's now going to Fort Campbell. He's going there to train with Special Forces. Sergeant Henry says he hopes to keep his current job of telling the story of war instead of actually fighting.
Well, it's great to see that. We're glad he captured those images for us. Thank you.
Impressive images. Thanks, Sean.